Same GPU inside, different brands outside. So why do some cost way more? And what actually separates Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, and the rest? Asus. You've probably heard of the Asus tax. It's that extra $50 to $100 added to the price tag just for the logo. Asus positions itself as the premium tier of the market, handling both nvidia and AMD chips. Their flagship ROG Strix line is famous for being physically massive and overbuilt. These cards usually have the highest power limits and the most aggressive RGB, targeting enthusiasts who want to squeeze out every last megahertz. On the more practical side, the TUF gaming series has become a gold standard for reliability. It swaps the flashy lights for a rugged industrial metal shroud and high-grade capacitors. The downside is clearly the cost. You're often paying for a level of cooling that the actual GPU chip doesn't even strictly need. It's the choice for someone who wants the peace of mind that their card is running 10 degrees cooler than the competition, even if their wallet feels the burn. MSI. If your main priority is a silent PC, you're usually looking at MSI. They've spent years perfecting their twin Frozer fan technology, and in 2026, their Gaming X Slim series is the go-to for high performance without the jet engine noise. They balance the market with three main tiers. The Supreme is their luxury flagship, using brushed metal and sleek aesthetics to compete with the ROG Strix. Then there's the Ventus, which is their budget-friendly entry. Be careful with the Ventus, though. It's where MSI cuts corners, often using plastic backplates instead of metal, which doesn't help with heat dissipation. A common myth is that more fans always mean better cooling, but MSI's dual-fan setups often outperform cheaper triple-fan cards because the fin density and heat pipe quality are just higher. It's a reliable middle ground, provided you stay away from their absolute cheapest models. Gigabyte. Gigabyte is the manufacturer for people who want the widest possible variety. They produce everything from the basic Eagle cards to the premium Aorus Master line, which often features built-in LCD screens on the side of the GPU to display your temperatures or custom GIFs. Their most popular mid-range option is the Gaming OC, which is widely considered the safe pick for most builders. It's not as expensive as Asus, but it's more substantial than a budget card. One specific detail about Gigabyte is their Windforce cooling, where the middle fan spins in the opposite direction to reduce turbulence. It sounds like marketing fluff, but it actually helps keep the airflow smooth across the heatsink. However, keep an eye on their software. Their control center can be notoriously buggy compared to the competition. They are the workhorse of the industry, not always the prettiest, but they get the job done across nvidia, AMD, and Intel platforms. Sapphire. For those on Team Red, Sapphire is often considered the undisputed king. They are an AMD exclusive partner, and that focus shows in their build quality. Their Nitro Plus series is essentially the Apple of GPUs. The fit and finish are consistently higher than almost anyone else in the Radeon space. They use a feature called Quick Connect, which allows you to replace a single fan by removing just one screw, rather than RMAing the whole card. If you want something more affordable, the Pulse series strips away the fancy lighting, but keeps the same high-quality cooling components. An interesting fact about Sapphire is that they often help AMD design the reference cards you see at launch. Because they don't divide their attention with nvidia, their BIOS tuning for Radeon cards is usually the most stable on the market. If you're buying an RX 9000 series card, Sapphire is the brand that most veterans will tell you to buy first. XFX. XFX is another AMD specialist, but they take a very different design approach. Their Speedster series, specifically the Merc and Quick models, is characterized by a clean, minimalist, almost automotive look. No jagged edges, just sleek black shrouds and massive triple fan setups. These cards are notoriously long. You absolutely have to check your case clearance before buying a Merc 310 or similar model, as they frequently don't fit in standard mid-tower cases. They focus heavily on straight-through airflow, meaning the backplate has large cutouts to let air pass right through the fins and up toward your CPU cooler. It's a simple, effective design that excels in high airflow cases, making them a favorite for gamers who prioritize raw thermal performance over RGB light shows. PowerColor. If XFX is the minimalist, PowerColor is the aggressive rebel of the AMD world. Their Red Devil line is legendary for being over the top. We're talking about triple slot monsters with massive heat sinks and a heavy emphasis on devilish red aesthetics. These cards are built for high power draw, making them ideal for users who want to overclock their Radeon GPUs. If you don't need a 3-pound brick in your PC, their Hellhound series offers a more balanced, blue-lit alternative that still stays remarkably cool. A specific detail worth noting is their dual BIOS switch, which is standard on most of their cards, allowing you to toggle between a silent mode and an OC mode with a physical flick. PowerColor cards aren't subtle, but they are some of the most durable options if you're planning on pushing your hardware to the absolute limit in 1440p or 4K gaming. Palit and Gainward. Most North Americans might not recognize these names, but in Europe and Asia, Palit is a titan. They actually own the brand Gainward, and both share the same DNA. These are the pragmatic choice. Palit's Jetstream and GamingPro lines are designed to give you the exact performance of the nvidia chip without any unnecessary markups. Gainward's Phantom series is their slightly more premium arm, often referred to as the stealth card because of its dark, understated look. There's an old myth that Palit cards burn out, but that hasn't been true for over a decade. In 2026, they are among the most reliable manufacturers for the mid-range market. If you're building a system and you just want a 5070 that works without paying for a brand's marketing budget, Palit is usually the smartest financial move you can make. Zotac. When space is a luxury, Zotac is usually the answer. They have carved out a niche as the masters of the mini GPU. While other brands are making their cards bigger and bigger, Zotac consistently releases twin-fan versions of high-end chips that actually fit in small form factor cases. Their Twin Edge and Solo models are staples for ITX builders. Don't let the size fool you though. Their AMP Extreme Hollow cards are their attempt at the high-end, featuring a unique iridescent holographic finish that changes color based on the angle of the light. The trade-off with Zotac is often the fan curve. Because the cards are smaller, the fans sometimes have to spin faster and louder to keep up. But if you're building a console-sized PC for the living room, Zotac is often the only brand that will fit without requiring a Dremel tool. Galax. In some regions, you'll see them labeled as KFA2, but it's the same company. Galax is world famous for one thing: white cards. While other brands might have one white model, Galax's entire identity is built around it. Their Hall of Fame series isn't just white, it's extreme. These cards often feature white PCBs, which is incredibly rare and expensive to produce. The HOF cards are designed for professional overclockers using liquid nitrogen, often coming with a detachable display to monitor voltages in real time. For the average gamer, their EX Gamer series provides that clean, white aesthetic for a much lower price. They are the fashion brand of the GPU world, but they have the engineering chops to back it up if you're looking to break world records in 3D Mark. Colorful. Colorful is a giant in the Asian market that has recently become a global powerhouse. They are known for being incredibly experimental. Their iGame series often features a one-key overclock button on the I/O bracket, a physical button you can press to instantly boost your clock speeds. They were among the first to put full-color flip-up LCD screens on GPUs, so you can watch your CPU usage or even a movie while you play. Their Neptune series is particularly interesting in 2026, as it comes with a pre-installed liquid cooling radiator, making it one of the easiest ways to water-cool your GPU without a custom loop. They are the brand for people who think modern hardware has become too boring and want something that feels like a piece of high-tech machinery from the future. PNY. PNY is the quiet professional of the bunch. For decades, they were the exclusive partner for NVIDIA's Quadro professional workstation cards. They've brought that no-nonsense philosophy to the gaming market with their XLR8 brand. You won't find aggressive gamer styling or weird gimmicks here. PNY cards are typically very thin, often strictly adhering to 2-slot or 3-slot standards, which makes them great for multi-GPU setups or professional rack-mount systems. They are incredibly reliable because their designs are based closely on NVIDIA's own reference specs. If you're a content creator who needs a card that won't crash during a 12-hour 8K render, PNY is the boring choice that you'll never regret buying. ASRock. Originally known for motherboards, they've become a major force in the GPU market, supporting both AMD and Intel. Their Taichi series is their flagship, featuring a unique steampunk aesthetic with moving gear motifs and heavy metal construction. What makes ASRock stand out in 2026 is their aggressive pricing on Intel Arc and Radeon cards. They often offer triple-fan coolers at prices where competitors only offer 2. Their Phantom gaming line is their mid-tier, focusing on high refresh rate esports performance. As a relatively newer player in the GPU space, they are hungrier for market share, which means you can often find ASRock cards on sale more frequently than the legacy brands. It's the perfect brand for the builder who wants high-end features like a metal backplate and ARGB without the premium brand markup. So, which one is in your PCIe slot right now? Drop a like if this helped you cut through the fluff, and subscribe for more simple guides like this.